Hello, it is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot, and we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our external environment, in our interactions with others. And if we want to see change around us, we do have to shift and change our thoughts and our feelings and flow with the energy in order to create that change, to be the source of that change. And this reading is very helpful for releasing and rebuilding things that are blocking you and finding a way to pick yourself up after that is done. And we're going to use the strengths of both sides of self. So the feminine side, we're going to use the Empress spread. And on the masculine side, we're going to use the Emperor spread. The feminine is going to help us release. That's going through those labor pains, the gestation period, and actually then having a child, birthing a creation, releasing something into the world. And then the rebuilding is regaining your strength, stabilizing, having a material foundation, taking action, and seeing that thing come into the material. You will be able to glean things about the person that you are wondering about, which is often why we come to tarot. So you will be able to find out things about that person, but it's really even more powerful to find out things about yourself, which your person is teaching you through this mirrored, reflective sort of relationship that you have. And this is with any partner, whether it be somebody who you would consider a past partner that maybe is a karmic person, someone you learn from a temporary time, for a temporary time. There we go. And it could be a soulmate you're considering. It could be a family member. It could be just your relationship to yourself. That's here nor there. The most benefit you'll get is really understanding yourself through these readings. So it's been so long since I've done this style of reading. I'm going to rely on my handy notebook that I painstakingly wrote it in long ago. I wish I would have put the date. I used to do these regularly. That is why this week I did these special readings, and I'm realizing why I stopped doing it, because it is exhausting doing this and also doing the live readings. It's a lot. But it's definitely, these spreads are very powerful, and you can of course book these personal spreads on the link below. You can also send me decks. My address is now stable for a while, so go ahead and send me decks if you would like, and I'd love to change the imagery up. But I'm using some gorgeous decks today, so I have no complaints about my decks. Also, the drawer that they're in will be complaining because it will probably not be able to be pulled in or out anymore because it's already so heavy. Okay, let us begin. Oh, I forgot this one card, but it's right here in front of me. Before we begin, I want you to think of one of the reasons why you came here today. You might have thought that you would hear a message, or you want to hear some kind of a message. There's something that you would like to know about, and it's probably pertaining to something that you think, if this happens, it will make me feel better. So I just want you to think for a moment, and you can even pause it if you really want to think, what do I think will make me feel better in any situation I'm in, just in this present moment? And whatever that thing is, that is what you think you need. And let's check and see if your ego, which is what you think you need. Hi, how are you? I'm having a great day. I hope you're having a good day too, Elevated. Let's see if what you think you need is what you actually need. Not what I thought. 10 of Pentacles, but I'll take it. This is wealth. This is material happiness. This is abundance and prosperity, and tuning into your ability to generate all of that, to have all of that, to enjoy all of that. And these straps are going to annoy me through this whole thing. Can't wait. Okay, cool. This is an interesting card because we don't see what constitutes material happiness. There's specific imagery on here, but I have not studied this deck thoroughly to be able to tell you what each of these symbols means, although some of them I know are the planets, Venus and Mercury, etc. And there is a Virgo symbol at the bottom. So makes sense because this is an earth card and would be associated with Virgo energy. And that's making me think of everything in its perfect order and everything accounted for, and just a sense that you have all you need. You have the space to put the things you have. You've created space in your life for this abundance, this wealth, and you're prepared really to receive it. So get ready to receive, because once you release, what you're rebuilding is that material happiness you've been asking for. Cool. Okay, let's get started. So first up, the general energy surrounding where divine feminine needs to release, what she needs to release. The feminine? What do you mean? The Chariot in reverse with the Two of Cups in reverse. How odd. Do you feel that you need to release things, release beliefs, release the idea, release the thinking, the ego thinking about how the relationship that you want is not moving forward? You're not seeing forward progress. You're not seeing movement. It may be chaotic. It may be seeming completely out of your control. It feels like you're reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching, and you're going nowhere. You're on some kind of a hamster wheel. The readings all sound the same. The whole entire, all of it is the same shit, different day. Holy shit. Please make it stop. Also, please make it go. Sound about right, feminine energy? Okay, well, that's definitely relatable for me. But let's see what the hidden assistance is. Now, I wrote this spread, and I find this position annoying often because usually the hidden assistance is something that you're like, well, that was annoying, though. Did I have to go through it? And the universe is like, yes, it was helping you. But today, it's not like that. Today, it's like, yeah, this is hidden assistance. What's hidden assistance right now for you is the Three of Wands in reverse, which is like, oh, honey, it's time. It's time. It was time a minute ago. It was time 2 minutes before that. And the whole day before that, it was time. And then 1 year before that, also time. And this Sun card. It's time to experience your complete enlightenment about what really, really does make you joyful. It's time for you to take a good hard look at the motherfucking boat and realize where you are and be like so excited and happy that you've come as far as you've come, that you've healed as much as you've healed, that you've had as much faith as you had, and your impatience to experience this joy, it has been your hidden assistant. Because you've been asking and asking and asking and asking, and I guess you irritated the universe enough that it's like, okay, Jesus, will you just let me give it to you, though? I was trying to give it to you the whole time, and you're like, no, I don't want that one. And I was like, you asked me for this, now you want this, right? The universe is like, okay, just please accept this thing. So that's what's helping you right now. But what past experience is it that you need to release? Jumps out the window. It's the Six of Cups in reverse and the King of Wands upright. You need to release a past divine masculine. You need to release your masculine. You need to release this person again. The one that you're perceiving as not taking action, because you keep seeing this masculine who is not taking action. That's all you can see. And so that's all that keeps happening. And that's the hamster wheel. And so if you want to see a masculine that takes action, then you need to release the version of that one, and that one who does not. And when you release, you must release. And we're going to get help with that today, because this happens to be Very hard to do. In fact, there are some readers out there who will tell you you can't, and I do not believe them. You can believe them if you decide to, but I choose not to believe that you cannot release a person, because that to me seems like an idea that would be coming from the ego, because it doesn't serve you or the person that you're attached to. So there's something about this masculine taking action. There is a past divine masculine that needs to be released. What can I do right now to soothe myself through this process? The Seven of Swords and the Hermit. Don't hate me. I'm just a messenger. You need to find a strategy to deal with your feelings of being alone. You hold on to the masculine not because this is a cosmic twin flame who you can never let go of. That is why you will always love that person. But that is not why you can't let go of it. That letting go of someone is loving. Holding on to someone is not loving. You know that because they've been doing that to you and it hurts. So a good parent believes, has faith that they have instilled their children with as much of their values as they think will serve them to survive on their own. They have faith that their journey is unique to them, and they let them go. They let them go. And then they come home like the prodigal son, and they're always, always loved when they come home. So that might be true. There might be readers out there who say, oh, you can't let go of this person. And it might mean that you can never stop loving that person because you don't ever stop loving the divine in anyone. If you see divinity in someone, you can never stop loving that person. You saw the whole reason for love that exists in the universe. So that's imprinted. But that doesn't mean anything. People that I loved very much have died, and I had to let them go. If I held on to the fact that they were gone, I would be in depression. But I had to accept that they were not physically present, however, always spiritually present for me. That is how you do the twin flame journey. And you absolutely have to let go of your person to do that. So when people tell you can't let go of the twin, that doesn't give you permission to keep about them. Because you're in charge of that. That's on you. You are in charge of your thoughts. That is what mastery is. Mastery is, oh, I don't have to go into a deep, dark sadness because I don't have to keep thinking about the things that are creating this feeling. Instead, I can feel the feeling of the present moment and not avoid the feeling by intellectualizing or thinking or worrying, but feel. If I'm scared, then I feel it. If I'm sad, then I feel it. If I'm happy, then I feel it. After that feeling is done, then I consider, are my feelings true? Is this fear a true fear? Has this happened yet? Will it happen inevitably? You decide. It may be difficult at first to learn how to do that, but you can do that. That's learning a strategy for your thoughts, not letting your thoughts get away with you when you're on your own, when you're alone. Needing someone to take action is, in order for you to believe that they love you or feel that their love is valid, is conditional. Unconditional love, you just know it's there. You just know your person loves you. It's not about love. There's plenty of stuff you love that you don't do. What can I expect to encounter as I make space for new energy? The Ace of Swords in reverse and the Ten of Swords in reverse. You can stop hurting yourself by not being honest. You feel that you need to see the truth of your situation in order to understand the separation. This happens a lot with my people that I work with. A lot of times they'll come in and they want to know, why did their partner stop talking to them? Are they seeing someone else? Did they stop loving them? Is there something that they did wrong, which is usually underlying everything that they're thinking? And the cards, like, very, very stubbornly won't say what it is. And I'll know it's because their ego needs a reason for the separation that isn't about the fact that they needed it. They needed the space, they needed the time, they needed to heal, they needed to fix something, they needed to look deep within. They were having a hard time being honest with themselves, whatever it is. So what you can expect to encounter as you make space for new energy is an end to being constantly seeing separation, constantly seeing these illusions, these thoughts that are not really you being honest with yourself. Their fears, their lies, your ego is telling, oh, this person is doing that because they're rejecting you. Or this person is going to reject this idea because it's stupid. Like, whatever you tell yourself, that's not true. You choose to see the dark side rather than the light. These cards are in very stark contrast. And you won't be honest with yourself about the reasons for the separation, that you actually did need the space, the time, and the healing. And also you're just going to see an end to separation. No more separation, no more lies, no more old self-concept. What behaviors have gotten in my way? The Eight of Swords and the Moon in reverse. So this is subconsciously protecting yourself from what you truly desire. This is being prickly, being like putting up hard wall or hard boundaries, closing a blind eye to your own machinations, your own drama that you are sort of enmeshed in, which are really about your thoughts. And it can also be about not setting proper boundaries also. But for me, this is about, because of the moon coming out, it's about subconsciously undermining your own success because you're afraid of it. You're afraid of your dream. Whatever it is you're dreaming of, whatever, you're afraid. Maybe I can't handle it. Maybe I won't be able to do it. Maybe I'm supposed to be by myself. Maybe I'm not supposed to be in a relationship. Maybe I got it wrong. These are all the self-doubts. And it's like building a prison of them around yourself. So you've got to change this behavior. What can I do now to avoid this? The Four of Cups, the Eight of Coins in reverse, and the Hanged Man in reverse. This is interesting because this is meditation, being more grounded, spending more time in nature, and allowing yourself to receive offers, not missing opportunities. This is also not being overly focused on what the masculine is doing, not trying to always see this masculine's perspective, see things from his perspective. You're always asking yourself why he's not doing something, instead of asking, why do I keep imagining that he's not doing something? As I'm saying this, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking, because I'm staying at my parents' house and I'm like watching my parents, who I've they've been married for as many years as me. They're 40 years they've been married, 41 this year. And watching the dynamic between them being like, oh, 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 so I'm used to a storyline where it's also not true. It's as I watch it, it's also not true. Where my dad doesn't do anything. But my dad's always working, except for when he comes home from work and like chills for a bit. And then he still will do other things, you know? Like he's still doing other things. He plays music. He like he's got like his whole guitar stuff set up. Like he watches a lot of stuff. He pays a lot of attention to stuff. And then he does projects. He does do projects. It just takes him a long time. Just he takes his time. But the story that I got was he doesn't do anything. So rather than be listening to readings and being like, why isn't the masculine taking action? I need to be like, why do I keep, oh, I have a subconscious limiting belief that came from my family, which is not true. It's actually an illusion, which is what the moon is. Because as I do observe my father, I see someone who does a lot of work, works really hard, enjoys his work, enjoys it, and still spends time with his family and is loving and affectionate. And I'm realizing that the projection he was getting was not his, right? It was overlaid by the feminine energy on him. And it's not accurate. And I am probably doing the same thing. And this is also just really not being so concerned so much with what the masculine is doing or thinking about, why he's missing these opportunities, blah, blah, blah. Because the truth is, you have plenty of opportunities to pursue masculines that are very clearly interested in you. You can use dating services. You can go to singles nights. You can go to speed dating things. You can ask your friends to set you up. You can be open to lots of different offers, and you can go out with masculine energy that's not going to like be unclear that it's a date, right? So there's a reason why you are choosing a masculine energy that is, and you can say, well, oh, it's because of this deep connection I have. Like, okay, but you can have deep connections. You've had them before and you can have them again. And how do you know if this is the deepest connection you've ever had? You really don't. You really don't. So what is growing within me or within this connection as I move on? So as you release these behaviors, this perception that the masculine doesn't do anything, doesn't take action, doesn't do the work he's supposed to do. You know, we kept seeing those readers that were so pissed off because the masculine isn't doing anything. He's not doing the work. He's not taking action. He's not communicating. And then what's happening? The masculine is not doing, he's not taking action. He's not communicating. That's that. And so this reading is literally saying, hey, stop talking about that. Stop thinking it. If you think it, ask yourself, wait, is that true? It's actually not true. If I backpedal in my mind, what I'm actually thinking is my masculine is not going to do this the way that I would like him to, because he hasn't done this the way that I would have liked him to do it in the past. However, I must admit, he's been really freaking creative and come up with some pretty badass and intricate and crazy schemes to get me the messages that I've been demanding that I hear. So, I guess I need to rethink that, right? This is Mercury retrograde after all, which is about revisiting, revising before you say anything. Okay. And so what is growing within me or this connection as I move on? Look at this. The Three of Swords is in reverse, and the Ten of Cups is here. Ta-da! Like, what your spiritual fulfillment is possible because of the deep wound, which is the masculine doesn't do anything wound. Well, once you release that concept from your mind by affirming the exact opposite, if you don't want to live in a world where masculines don't take action and don't communicate and don't express, then stop affirming that world. Start saying, I am often surrounded by masculines who work hard, enjoy the work they do, love to be around their families, pursue their artistic interests, give themselves the time and space to enjoy their lives, and expect others around them to do the same. Okay, that's the world I live in now. Perfect. Look at it. It's my beautiful Ten of Cups world. And I chose to get there by releasing the thoughts that hurt me, right? Even this, in the Three of Swords, there's one sword that pierces through the two swords of indecision or decisions we made, poor choices or choices unmade, whatever. And the sword hurts, right? The truth hurts. This person's holding that sword by the blade. The truth hurts. But once we face the truth that we have been creating the reality we didn't want by focusing on it much more intensely than the one we wanted, then we'll be able to actually shift and have a different intention. If I stopped here, this would be the best reading. But we have a whole other section of rebuilding with the masculine energy, and it looks just as badass. So let's check it out. So the Emperor spread, we start with the top, the general energy of what needs to be rebuilt. The masculine has to rebuild something. What is it that he needs to rebuild? It's the Six of Wands in reverse in his headspace in the Tattoo Tarot. By the way, I don't know if I said this is the Fountain Tarot that I was using in the Heart Space of the Feminine, and the Ethereal Visions Tarot that I was using in the Headspace. And the Six of Wands, yeah, that's right, 2 Six of Wands in the Heart Space. And look what it's like. It's like a mirrored image of each other, right? But one is in reverse and the other is upright. In the head, we haven't yet publicly acknowledged the feminine's victory. We haven't given peace. We haven't proclaimed this victory with her. We haven't actually tapped into the success, the victory, the public recognition, the achievement, the peace that's in the heart space. So the masculine is trying to rebuild this connection with the feminine, but he kept her a secret. Even if he celebrated her in his heart space and felt this victory of love and union energy, the 6, which is the lover's energy, he didn't tell anyone about it. He didn't acknowledge it. He didn't even tell her, really. And so how do you rebuild the connection that you've kept secret, that you've hidden away? Hi, thanks for coming. I am happy, actually. I hope you are too. All right, so now let's look at the hidden assistance. What is helping the divine masculine rebuild from having kept this relationship, this union, this success, this victory secret, hidden, not fully expressed? What has helped him or is currently helping him? The Fool, can't make that up, and Temperance, the fulfillment of the Lover's card. So we have 6 and 6, we have 13, and then 0 for the Fool, this fresh start. And it's the divine feminine who's just got her blinders on. She's, she's just smelling roses right now, Andi. She's not really looking too deeply into this before she leaps into it. And that's going to help the masculine out a lot. She's so intoxicated by the idea of just starting fresh, just getting to start fresh, just being able to be like, can we just start, please? And there's peace overall, the Temperance energy. There's been divine intervention, this Archangel Raphael energy, and healing that's coming in that has come in for the both of them, that is allowing them both to feel very satisfied, which is helping with the easing of the transition from a private relationship to a public one, from private, personally held feelings to publicly acknowledged feelings of love. All right, let us continue. The first position is, what past experience challenges me in the rebuilding process? Wow. There are 2 cards here. One of them didn't get picked up. Oh my God. All right, the Justice card in reverse and the Ace of Swords in reverse and the Sun card. Hey, look, we just talked at length about that Ace of Swords in reverse, which was in the place that was going to, basically, it was going to go away to leave room for something new to come. So for a new self-concept, the old self-concept is out. Well, this is what has challenged the masculine in the past, the divine feminine, believing, this is the Justice card in reverse, that masculine energy is not fair, okay? And the Sun card, which is divine feminine's hidden assistance, what's challenging is that I do think that the divine masculine actually did have a lot of joy in a past family, that there, because this could be a divorce, something that's hidden about a marriage or something legal or a commitment he has had. And I think there is happiness there. He may have children from that marriage. He may have just, a business that he grew with the other person. There's all kinds of things with that Justice card that could be implied there. This could be a career too, something that he had a contract with. So he has like a contract, or he's bound to something. He might be bound that he can't speak the truth, or he couldn't communicate the truth. Maybe he has signed a non-disclosure agreement that he can't fully bring like things he's happy about to light because of some kind of an obligation. So this is what has challenged him in the past. He couldn't be open or honest about what he was happy about because of some contractual obligations, or some, like, he had literally an obligation or a duty to tell a lie. Maybe he had to hide it to protect someone. If someone, like, I just thought of like, I thought of like Spider-Man, who like can't tell who his love is because then she'll be targeted, kind of a thing. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's what popped into my head. What can I do right now to build my confidence? Well, we've got this Knight of Cups energy in reverse, and the the 8 of Wands, which is communication. So divine masculine has been very wishy-washy with his communication in the past. And if he wants to be more confident, have the best day, Jason. What will help him to be more confident is if he's just more consistent, if he shows up and communicates regularly with the divine feminine, doesn't disappear, isn't inconsistent with his presence. If he's just there, if he just shows up every day with emotion, not with, not in a calculated or strategic way, but just heart-centered in his expression. And so that is really what would help him build his confidence, which is beautiful. What possible future challenges could arise? Judgment and the Page of Swords. Truthfully, he could be judged by his choices that he made to enter into some kind of a relationship with the divine feminine, because it's going to be obvious for anybody who's curious at all. The timelines are probably overlapping in some way. He could judge himself harshly for having watched the divine feminine from the sidelines and still feel this fear or intimidation to come forward to her because he's watched for so long. It's like he's imagining conversations, and he's thinking of sitting with her across the table, and she's looking so lovely, and she's happy, and she's smiling, and she's like, oh, And, so then when this was happening, and then he's thinking about how he'd be like, oh yeah, and then this happened. And she would be like, you knew about that? And he would have to be like, yeah. And he would have to acknowledge that he knew about that and he didn't do anything. He didn't say anything. And this is when he would want to make excuses and be like, well, I couldn't do it. I had this, we talked about it, that like contractual obligation, but I'm sorry, he's afraid of that. He doesn't want to have those moments with her where he has to admit that she literally hasn't like, posted a single thing in all her life that he hasn't saved on a hard drive somewhere. He feels challenged by that. And it's him judging himself. Because I don't think the divine feminine is going to be like, wow, you're an asshole. I think she's probably going to be like, cool story, bro. Like irritated. Like, wow, that was hard. But I think what she just wants is to be like, it's difficult to know that. But if you had tried to come in and do anything, I wouldn't have had X, Y, and Z experience. So I know it was for the best. I do. And I commend you for being committed to your obligation or whatever you thought, or waiting until you felt that you wouldn't hurt me. Because the feminine understands that. She isn't sitting in judgment. The judgment card is upright. Okay, what past behaviors have destabilized me? The Knight of Swords and the Justice card. This is falsely believing in your head that your hands were tied by this legal system, by a system, by some kind of authority, something like that. But this is falsely believing. Your hands aren't tied, bro. They're not tied. It's like I did a reading for somebody today, and I was talking about how someone's level of commitment. I'm on a dating app. I had to set the miles to like 100 miles away from where I live because it's slim pickings around here. And it's just really small. There's only like 5,000 people in my town. Like it's really small. So I expanded the field, and it's probably like an hour and 40 minutes away, right? Drive to like Ottawa. I'm getting a lot of dudes from Ottawa. And one of them was like, oh, that's too far, right? Which is totally legit. It's just a long way to try to date somebody. And another guy didn't even face him at all. So one person's motivation to overcome an obstacle like distance is stronger because he thought it was worth it to explore something more significant, not just something casual. It seemed more of a level of commitment he was willing to make. He didn't perceive his distance from me as a hands tied situation. He perceived it as something he would be willing to overcome to get to know me. So that's an easy way to determine someone's level of interest. But that is to show this masculine did not have his hands tied ever. There's nothing that was ever tying his hands because this is an illusion. This is your headspace. These are your worries. This is your anxiety. These are your out of control thoughts. Your imbalanced thinking. You're weighting the material and your reputation over your heart and what is right. Because it wasn't right what masculine chose to do. It was divine for his journey. And it's not a situation where he has to be punished because you already experience your karma when you feel pain from the choice you made. And he felt the pain. If you make the right choice, you don't feel the pain. And if you do, you understand, and it's transformative because it's about birthing something much more beautiful, much bigger. What can I do now to avoid this and stabilize? Stop withholding. Here's the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And the slowest moving deck, the Knight of Pentacles, who's like wandering off with his pentacle, making excuses, working on the material, trying to make things perfect, trying to overcome this fear that his hands are tied. He can't do it right now. Always busy. My divine masculine, because I know what he's about to do in his job. I know the thought process. Oh, I can't do that right now. I can't communicate right now because I'll be busy and I won't be able to communicate consistently. So I'm just going to work on my pentacle here. I'm just going to hold it a little bit longer, just a little bit longer, just a little 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 more, just a little more. Oh, not perfect yet. It's not perfect yet. Not perfect. Not the right time. Not the time. Not now. Not now. How do I know that? That's every fucking reading that I have stopped watching. Stop. My parents' dynamic has taught me that the feminine energy expects the masculine energy to be perfect. The masculine energy fears he will never be perfect. So the masculine energy procrastinates or delays. The feminine perceives that as doing nothing. She doesn't value a lot of what the masculine does do. It's not important to her, meaningful to her. So it's not meaningful or important. I'm watching the dynamic play out. So I know my masculine energy is definitely avoiding giving me this thing because he's worried that I'm going to be exacting about it. And I don't know that I would be because I would take anything at this point. I also don't really have that high of expectations, like beyond a conversation. But I know that thought process is like, oh, I've got work to do. There's work I've got to do. And I'm doing that work for us so that we can have stability and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't care about that, though. I don't care about that. I'm going to die soon. That's what I care about. Like, my days are numbered just like everybody else's. And I'm not going to give a fuck what kind of house I lived in when I'm dead. I'm going to care about the connections I had to carry on with me into the afterlife. The experiences I had. And the ones that I've had. And I've lived a full life. I've experienced homelessness and moments when I was starving and eating very little. And I've had moments when I've been able to gorge on very wealthy spreads of food in beautiful mansions by the sea and be like, oh, with a bunch of assholes. I've done that too. And very nice people too. But a lot of assholes in both places. And I don't give a fuck what is going on outside of me, because what is going on outside of me is always dependent upon what is going on inside of me. And connecting with somebody, you carry with you forever. You always carry connections with people. That's what unconditional love is. But this paper will burn, fade, dissolve. That the energetic connection that I have with a person, that I believe goes on and on and on and on. So fuck this bullshit perfectionism, withholding behavior. What future prospects do I have to look forward to once I rebuild and stabilize? Wow, look. The Three of Cups in reverse. This is the original third party. So, because there's two versions of the Three of Cups in this deck, and this is the first one. So this is probably the first wife or whatever. The Three of Swords in reverse, which, hey, guess what? The Divine Feminine also was looking forward to the healed heart space. And the Five of Pentacles. So this is the complete transformation of poverty consciousness, of separation, of needing separation to heal the heart space, to heal from those original wounds that the masculine experienced, to keep divine feminine out in the cold with a preference for third parties that had very shallow relationships, with this promise of a sanctuary that was somewhere hidden wherever that divine feminine was. That shit is done like a house. Bye. All right, let's look at the oracles. So I do, for the release and rebuild spread, I like to use the, what's it called, Moonology deck for the release card, and then the Work Your Light deck for the rebuild, because you've got something to release and then you have work to do after your release. This says, what do you need to release? This card right here. Let's look at it. when it happens, when I'm like, oh, well, what do we need to release? And the card is like, what do you need to release? And you're like, are you copying me? Are you copying me? No, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. Like, why, universe? But so divine feminine, maybe what you need to release is the idea that you don't know what you need to release, because you fucking do know what you need to release. It comes up every goddamn day, and I post about it every damn day in my TikToks about needing to release, and people are like, how do I release? And I'm like, I don't know, you just do it. Just release, just let go, just loosen your grasp a bit on this old concept, this old ass concept of the masculine who takes no action. But let's get the actual waning moon. So this points to what is falling away. Life goes in cycles, and sometimes we need downtime or to let go. No matter when in the moon cycle you pull this card, it is a sign that a situation has peaked, for better or worse, and it's time for you to go easier. It is the autumn and winter of the cycle. So, what do you need to release? Almost certainly something from the situation you're asking about. This card can be very positive, but it can still be gently suggesting that you let something go and stop trying so hard. It's safe. This is a really, really powerful affirmation. It's safe to let go and move on. It is safe to let go and move on. That is the biggest message from this. Move forward with as little resistance as possible. This is not the time to start new projects. Releasing emotional baggage is recommended now. Say sorry to someone. Do energetic work such as meditation or yoga, which was honestly suggested to you here in what you needed to do. So meditation is a really big thing right now. Don't avoid it. Self, just do it. Just do it. Soon you will see what lies ahead. At the time of the waning cycle, take a moment to look up in the skies every night. You will see the moon growing smaller and smaller as she moves from full to new again. It's the time when things are falling away. It's certainly not the time to cling on to anyone or anything. Drawing this card suggests your situation is in its autumn and winter phase. So hunker down, which you did get this hermit energy, and start the regeneration process. Go back and listen to the Divine Feminine from the beginning of that spread, and you'll have this exact instructions. Thank you, universe, for confirming. Okay, then we're getting from the Work Your Light Oracle, the Council of Light, divine orchestration and helpers in the subtle realms. This was in reverse. I don't even need to read it. This was in reverse, and for me, this is it's a lot like this last card. You don't need to do anything. Your problem, feminine, is that you push yourself into the masculine energy of needing to do and make things happen. And that is something that you need to do in your life, but not in your relationship with a masculine person. In this case, you don't have anything to do. Everything that's happening is divinely orchestrated. There is nothing to do. That's why you feel restless. That's what the Two of Wands is about. What you really need to do is put your strategy and your action into your own passions and interests. Take action for yourself. I'm determined to create a better website. Like, that's something that keeps popping into my mind, and I'm working on a deck. And I've got to build that into my schedule again. You have to create space in your life for the things that you want. That, if you do that, the masculine person that you keep looking at to see if they're doing anything, which guess what? If they were doing anything, you would know it. 100%. If your masculine is going to post for you, and it's, and I'm just telling this to myself when I watch this back again. The day that your masculine posts for you, you know how you're going to know it? He's going to @message your ass. You're going to know it. He's going to send it to you in your DMs. If there is an unmistakable post where he is confidently, directly communicating to you, you won't need to check his stories. You won't need to look at his playlist he's made on Spotify. You'll know. Because the only way he'll be able to get your attention is by @messaging you or calling you and saying, hey, I made something just for you, my beautiful fairy princess. To which you'll respond, thank you, sir, if you want. So you don't have to check anymore. You don't have to put any action or energy at all into your person. It is the energy and action you keep putting into your person that is enabling them to not take action themselves. Why would they have to @message you when they can be reassured that you're going to watch every story? So if they vaguely allude to you, oh, you'll know. And you must do the same. If you want to communicate with your person, you better @message them then. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be sending the message. I'm being sassy because I'm going to be watching this myself. And I'm just saying this to myself right now. Okay. And it's true. And I embrace it. And you're right. Okay. I'm already in agreement with you. Self. Higher self. I get it. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Porcupine spirit. Time for beginner's mind. So this is your protection message and your animal spirit. Now, I told you were being prickly. I said prickly, and I didn't even know porcupine spirit was going to come out. And it's the card 48, of course. Are you feeling prickly and defensive lately? And assuming you will be hurt before you've seen any sign that such a reaction is called for. Perhaps an old sense of guilt and shame is causing you to be cynical and wary when you are meant to be open and curious. Self-protection is a good thing, but you may be protecting yourself from something that will not actually harm you, but instead will bring you abundance, happiness, and love. Remember your innocence, and you will see what you have been overlooking. Porcupine quills are filled with air, allowing a porcupine to float in water. Now is the time to let your innocent nature keep you buoyant. And you know what? This is your loss of innocence too. Releasing this, there may have been a masculine who took action against you in a traumatic way. And you may still need to release this. If there was a sexual trauma in your childhood, in your past, something like that, this may still be why you are still afraid of a masculine who will take action. Because if that person who you love comes forward and betrays you the way that you were betrayed, hurts you physically in the way that you were hurt physically by that formative experience, if they compare, it will break you, right? You will feel so unsafe with a person who you already feel safe with right now. So if you don't have this fully processed, this healing, and this, for that type of healing, please do not rely on tarot readings. For anything, tarot readings should be entertainment. Honestly, they should be like Netflix. It should be like entertainment that is like learning about yourself, that helps you be a little more self-aware, that gives you a sense of what's going on in your head and your heart, and helps you to like test your muscle of intuition in yourself. Okay. They are not meant to be collective readings that you see like this, are not meant to be your soul healing modality. I do think they can bring a lot of healing, especially if you work with somebody who's personally working with you. But I think that when you do really serious work on any kind of trauma, that you should be working with people who are certified in helping deal with those types of trauma. So please, if you have the ability to, if you have resources to do that, be doing that already. If you don't, there are affordable options. So make sure you're working with somebody when you attempt any kind of regressive work like that. It just make sure you have a strong support system. If you don't have a therapist, make sure you have friends who know that you're going through what you're going through, who you can call when you need to call them, that you're in a safe place, that you can experience all the emotions you have without feeling self-conscious about it, that you can unapologetically experience your healing. That's just a side note, because that is a very, very difficult thing to heal from. Your final theme. It's the Emperor. This is the healed masculine in your mind. You have a distorted image right now still. It's okay. It is okay that this happened to you. It's not okay that someone did something that made you feel that masculine energy is distorted, or that your life was shaped by parental guidance that suggested that this was true. That's not okay. But it is okay that you still have to work through some of these feelings about this masculine energy. Okay. All right, let's get to the masculine energy side. Here is his release. Bring love into the situation. Okay, you don't say. New moon in Aquarius. It's a new moon in Aquarius. So where the hell is it? It's after Capricorn, right? Yes. Okay. Aquarius is all about progress and modernity. So this is the time to move forwards. The new moon in Aquarius means no looking back. Change is on its way, and it could come quickly. Whether you get the change you want depends both on whether you believe you can have it and how much you're relying on others to bring it to you. This card comes with the suggestion that you may need to do things independently on your own, but be loving, not too pragmatic. Time may be of the essence when this card comes up. Aquarius energy has an electric feel to it. Certainly, there is a sense that you need to let go of the past and move towards your future as soon as possible. This is no more of the Knight of Pentacles. Explore the idea that it is not what you know, but whom you know. You need to be more detached from the situation. Thinking outside the box will bring the solution. More pragmatism is called for. Improve your karma by doing some charitable work. Aquarius is the sign of invention, modern advances in technology and humanity. Its energy is a little brittle. It's individual, scientific even, and relatively emotionally detached. Many people think Aquarius is a water sign because the Aquarius symbol is the water bearer, but it's actually an air sign and is far more about intellect than the emotional water signs. As is this card, no matter when you draw it. Dropping convention works well with this energy, and doing it now. So that's get moving, bring love into the situation, pour out that cup. No more wishy-washy energy. We're getting Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations and divine plan. This is don't resist the divine timing here. You are part of a grand scheme of things. Flow with the energy. When your free will steps in, it actually pulls you away from the higher power's will. And when we pull away from the higher power's will, we tend to get uncomfortable, which is good sometimes because that helps us to grow and change and expand. And that's why we're called to do it. But at other times, we need to rein that in. Seahorse spirit. Watch and wait. This is about gaining perspective. This is also about feeling like it's your job to solve other people's problems. Stop doing that. Stay out of other people's business. If you're worried like, oh, I can't do this because this person has this expectations and these things to happen, etc. So like, don't do that. Don't do it. It's not your job to smooth out every situation. You need to sit back, allow that person, whoever is going to feel some type of way, butt sore or whatever it is about your choices or decision. That's not your drama, not your circus, not your monkeys, is how they put it in that card. And then your theme for this week, it's the Justice card. That's 3 times for you, bro, from 3 decks. So this is about balancing the scales. It's about favorable outcomes in the legal system, if you were worried about it. It's about things being fair and things that were not fair being put right. All right, we're at the final part of the reading, and this is where I do the oracles for both masculine and feminine. These are the things that you are in union in regards to. Let me just make any announcements. So tomorrow, I'm going to be doing free readings with Grace Strega for an hour from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TikTok. And then 5 to 6 p.m. we will be over here on over there. Instagram. We'll be on Instagram for an hour doing the divine check-in over there. And then next week, I will resume my normal schedule, which will be 1 reading full length, the divine tune-in on Monday. And then if you are a member, you will receive your Tell Me Everything spread on Thursday like normal, and an additional reading or 2 small mini readings. I haven't decided exactly how to do it. I go with the flow a lot, and I am going to keep expanding members' benefits, if I could speak. And of course, the 3-minute TikToks and live TikToks, etc. next week. So it's just not going to be so many readings because I'm tired. This is a lot of readings. And I will be doing an additional Tell Me Everything spread for members tomorrow. So the members that usually they get one on Thursday, but everybody got one. I just want to make sure the members get their own. So you will get that reading tomorrow. Okay. A win-win outcome is forecast. So release your fear, because there is the scales of justice again and balance. And it says everyone's going to win. Everyone is going to win, because the twins balancing out and coming together into union is a win-win for a lot of people. Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? This is just about you both coming into that alignment, continuing to refine, release this idea that the masculine doesn't express his passion or emotion or his feeling or his whatever. Release that together. Rebuild. That the masculine can come forward and have this fair and balanced relationship that is open and honest and does not have any third-party energy that's interfering with the union. Fix that. Come into alignment. Do the work that's suggested by the readings. Make the effort. Set healthy boundaries. How many times? This came up a lot. Set healthy boundaries with those around you. And your theme is the moon. And this is a release and rebuild spread, so I'm not surprised, but release those subconscious beliefs holding you back. This is also very poignantly the divine feminine energy, the intuition, the subconscious, dreams, fantasy, the telepathic communication, all of the mystery, the secrets, everything coming to light, being unveiled. And we got the sun and the moon in this reading. So we know that this is definitely indicating a cosmic energy. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to go. I'm going to go have dinner with my family. It's been really nice to be able to do that. I lived all of COVID completely alone. I didn't even get my dog until October of 2021. So I was alone for such a long time. And I think there were benefits to that because I know a lot of people got sick of living together. But for me, it is very nice to have people around. And my dog is so happy. She's enjoying the other energy, playing with my family dog Spike all the time, and they're having fun. So it's been really nice to be home. And I just want to thank you again. This is the last free reading that I did as a thank you to all of you who donated $1, $5, $3, and in one case, $500 towards my journey moving back to my family home while I get ready to move to someplace in the Massachusetts area as my son finishes his last 2 years of school. And I would probably just stay out here because I can travel to California and actually live where there's seasons. I think I like that better, which is, nice surprise. And New York wins. It's prettier. New York's the best. You can't beat New York. Sorry about it. Sorry, every other state. New York is the best. Bye. All right. I will talk to everybody later. Have the best day.